I remember when me and Jimmy came down that track in order to get back down here, at the beginning it was just like 250 yards just full of thick mud and water, because obviously farmers' tractors would come and do and churn it all up. It was always full of water and soft mud, and you had to have boots on to get through it. I'll point my camera up the farmer's track here when I get to this junction. Right, so this is the track that me and Jimmy took from up there, where the road meets the track at the top here. I turned left and dropped downhill here and brought me back down to here. So we'll continue with my journey. So we'll take that massive diversion to continue up here. So here's another channel that fills up when it's been raining heavy and the river overflows, and it comes into this channel here. Obviously just been recently putting these new bits of fencing up with a barbed wire, so they put those blue things on to make you see the barbed wire, so you didn't cut yourself open on it. Right, so there's that young couple that passed me right round there, look. So you can see how far you can walk right along the river weir here. Now, when you're coming down from Tudhoe, it brings you down an embankment, and you start walking along the pathway on that side as well. And then you go through like a forestry set of trees on the other side there, and normally that's full of class and mud and shit and everything as well. I've been right along these pathways on both sides, exploring, and I had them all on video, but I've lost them all. Basically over there you've got the A690 going along, coming along from Neville's Cross, the traffic lights that you drive straight through on the way down here to go to the car park at Sunderland Bridge. So you go right along the A690, then eventually you take a left and drop down to the car parks at the far side. So if you continue along this track, it brings you out where you cross over the road, and there's like a little car park, enough space for about 20 cars. So you can come down there, park there, then continue along the river. We are going that way as well, even further. I've done them all. Out here, mallards, ducks. I can just see them on the other side of the river there now. This one's just taking off and flying back up the river. There he goes. But there's a bunch of trees that you walk through here now. About a quarter of a mile to half a mile of just trees. So if it does start getting a bit naughty, at least you get a bit shelter from the you know what. For a while anyway. Here's another young lady coming back with her dog, I think. Yep. They're feeding. Young large cyclists. Clearing the pathway. Get across the ditch. Looks like he's just putting dead wood in to cross over that ditch with his bike. I'll ask the time again now. It should be about 11 o'clock. Come on then, are you going to come and say hello? Come on then, Howie. Come on son, Howie. Come on then, Howie. Come on. Is you alright? There. Come on then, come and say hello. There. There, can you smell my dog? There. There. Sometimes it's the cap, the dogs don't like a man.
Oh,
have you got the right time please? It should be about 11 o'clock-ish.
Oh dear.
Have you got
yes it is, 11 o'clock spot on.
Spot right, thank you very much. Enjoy your day. Right, 11 o'clock. Right, so you can see the pathway where he's just coming along. He's just gone over a lot. He has, that's what he's doing, snapping wood to put in that bit of a groove where there's full of mud. So he can just ride over it. So once again, like I say, on that side as well, you can walk right along the river where on the other side there's a male mallard duck right against the embankment and the female standing up on a rock, pluming a feather. Right. So as you can see, it's quite an expanse of countryside here. So I've got 2 spare batteries in my pocket, so obviously to record the whole journey. More mallards just there where the rocks are on the other side, male and female again. So placing it down the water's edge. Let the dog go and do an air gun for a quick plunge. I'd get that branch and snap it off and just chuck it in for him. He'd go in for a swim. There's a beach where there's loads of pebbles you can go and do. Shopping trolley, Rusty to Hill, and there's our traffic cone. See them everywhere. Like the sun's starting to get out a bit better now, so hopefully the skies are going to start clearing away so that we'll get nice blue sky behind. Right, so there's a perfect place to go and do with the dog and chuck stones in for him to go on for a plunge. It's a nice big house and grounds there at the top of the field. So just to reiterate people, it's Sunday morning, the 12th of April 2026, and it's approaching dinner time-ish. It's about 11 in the morning. I'm forgetting the name of the village where you drive down towards Crook on the A690 from Neville's Cross, which is way over there. You drive right away along the main road, then like I say, you go through a little village and then turn left, and the road brings you down to a little car park on the right hand side before you cross over a bridge, and that's where you can park and walk right the way along the river Wear. Keep going, just like pathways like this. There's a continuation. Hey, so you can look over there and see bits of embankment with sort of sand where you can get down and go by the water's edge again. I mean, right the way along here there's places where you can go down by the water's edge, cut down the pathways that have been created. Oh, we've got some whitewater rapids here. Right, so that's my cue for to have a quick whiff before anybody comes. What I used to do is park up in Tudhoe, take the path all the way down to the river's edge, and then walk right along to meet the main road. I'd cross over the road bridge and come down the path and start coming back this way as well, as a massive circular. So this is just taking us back onto the next section of the fields and pathway. So if I brought Bear here and he was off his lead, I would just be scanning the whole area all the time to see if there's any horses, cattle, cows, people, dogs, whatever. So before I put my camera in the clip on the peak, I just made sure it was like pointing straight on forward instead of down slightly or up slightly. So hopefully I'm getting a good view left, right, up to the sky a little bit, and the ground that I'm walking on as well, so you can see the terrain I'm walking along. I'm just looking at up ahead. That area there is very familiar. That's where you come doing that really muddy, slippy, water bog pathway to come down to meet the river there. And then you walk along and you go between some trees and roots coming down, and you're right next to a farmer's wall, and you just go right along. I've done that before as well. There's new bits of fencing. This wasn't here before. This plastic orange netting, that wasn't here before with these wooden posts. Get down here, walk on this flat path, it's easier. An area there, look, you go down and get on the pebbles just down there. It's because I've come down off the path, I nearly missed that. But I just look for all these little areas where you can let the dogs say, right, go on, in you go and have a plodge or a swim, clean off, get all the rid of the, you know, the little dead hairs that hang about them that give dogs that awful dog smell. That's why you want them gone in, especially over their backs, so they're going deep enough, and it just loosens off all the dead hair and they lose that dog smell. And I was just telling you, don't use that path up there. Like I say, that this is new. It's because the embankment's collapsing. They don't want you going along there in case it collapses when you're walking along the top. But yeah, I remember this area here because I would come down through those trees and be on that side of the river. Looking back, you can see how much of a distance I've come already, and you can still go a couple of miles to go yet before you get the main road that comes down from the right. But there's a great place that you get next to the river on all those pebbles down there, look. Right, I'll not go to the edge, I'll just go at the top and look over. Show you where the river's creating all this destruction after heavy rains. So the pathway is going through those trees, and then you get the far side of bend on the left, it goes uphill, you go across flat at the top, and then you come down the other side, it's all thick mud and water. Look at how much branches this tree is caught up on that dead tree in the middle of the river then, creating that barrier. Right, back down to the bottom. So half the embankment's been lost and gone into the river after collapsing after loads of rains and snow and shit, with the weight of it and just dropping off. Now I know why this orange plastic barrier's here. I remember I was going down to the edge of the bank further on this corner here. There's a good pathway you can go down. I can see cars going down towards where you park up, further up there, just past that big huge mound. The cars are just going down the road past that. So I've got about, if I was going to do the whole journey, I would go about another mile and reach the road, cross over and then come back on the other side, or just come back this side because it's easier. Right, so this is where you can go back up and join the pathway now, up on the top, because obviously the farmers don't want you walking around his field all the time and killing the grassed areas here at the beginning. Right, yeah, brand new fencing. So that's something new I've seen with coming back this way after quite a while. So I must have come along 5 fields. It's quite a distance so far. Right, let's just stop and point my camera around slowly but surely. I mean, that building there with all the house bricks, the orangey brown, it stands out like a sore thumb. You can see that way back there when you walk up here past the wetlands. Our wind's picking up again now. But if you want to come for a nice easy walk through the trees and right next to the river, this is a fabulous place to come. Just following the river Wear all the way up. That's W-E-A-R, Wear, River Wear. See, there's loads of places on the other side now where the embankment's collapsing. I'm sure there's a place on this side where I went down onto a sandy embankment like that, but not that one, further on I think. Just remember going down on one of them to have a look up and down the river. Some heavy-footed person's gone through there, like you can see the big footprints are like a horse or a cattle or cow.